Hello. It's cold in my house today. Just in the basement. Whoa, what's up, Hookif? So I still cannot get the stinking lag on my comments to go away. So yeah. I'm gonna share this a couple places and then I will be, or I guess just one place. Yeah. Just enjoying some soup and tea. Nice. Yep. How are you guys doing today? Yeah, today's been nuts. I was sick all like last week, so finally recovering, and yeah, it's just been rough. And if somebody that has access to Dream Cafe could share this, that would be great. I don't feel like doing that right now. That always kind of throws me off. If not, that's fine. Then we'll just chill with us. Managed to listen. Yeah, that's awesome. Let me get into the studio on the computer so I can show the comments that I'm answering to. Just into studios. All right. Yeah. So 5Puff, or I don't know how to say it. I don't know why it's 5Puff. But yeah, 2 lucids last night. That's awesome. And yeah, it's always awesome to get a couple lucid dreams. Just like get more than you're used to. And I cannot find my freaking marker. That means a child probably stole it. Yeah. So basically, if I don't have any questions, I'm probably just going to revert to talking about my dreams, which for some people may be really boring. For other people, it may be fun and interesting. So we'll see. I've done something before talking about like my past with lucid dreaming, so this would actually just be more like what happens in my dreams. People always ask me. People always ask me like, "Oh, what do you do with all your time?" Because I'm lucid for a few hours a day. It's a lot of time, but yeah. So what I do is generally spend a lot of time setting things up. Trying to I'll have like a goal, but it'll be like a really long goal that'll take a few hours or even days or weeks. Generally, I'll go on like quests and things like that. So we actually have a question here, though. Any advice for someone who can't get back to sleep after waking back to bed? Just do them earlier or what? Yeah, I guess I can leave that up while I'm answering it. I would say do shorter wake back to beds. Like keep your eyes closed during the wake back to bed, or even like I will just like open one eye if I'm worried. You should be able to feel like after some time in practice, you should be able to feel your sleepiness, and when you're pushing the limit of exactly how sleepy, like how awake you are, and you're like, oh crap, if I stay up too much longer, I won't be able to get back to sleep. At least I can feel that, but that comes from time and practicing wake back to beds. Sup, high flow. How you doing? So yeah, I've got persistent dream characters in my dreams. I've got persistent dream companies, persistent dream places that I go back to, and I have like long times hanging out with them and completing quests with them. Like Kayla is one of the recurring dream characters that I've been with a lot recently because we're both infiltrating this evil organization, and we both have jobs inside of that where we have different dream things we have to do. So that's been fun, and we've been setting up different things inside of the company to destroy different parts of it, just with our time, which takes a lot of time actually. And I spend a lot of time learning about how to, like how the dream world seems to work. The dream world in my dreams has very specific rules that it follows, which is pretty fun. But yeah, an hieroglyphic, did that answer your question? Or have you tried that? Is there more? And Pedro Fernando Zabala Espinoza says, spam wake back to bed is what I need to say, which is true. It's very important. Wake back to bed as much as you can without it making you more tired and without it stopping you from getting lucid. It's like the best thing ever. I usually wake like 5 or 6 times a night, and I feel like the more times I wake, the closer to waking life mind my mind is throughout my dreams, which makes it easier to remember goals and become lucid and remember my dreams and just feel like I'm living 2 lives for the most part, which is pretty cool. In my mind, I think it's cool. Oh. Yep. So, let's see. I also get asked, like, what's the coolest thing I've ever done? Or, like, have you ever talked to a dragon? Have you ever left your body? Stuff like that. Most of those things, like the one-off goals, like flying to the moon, stuff like that, kind of just happen as you're doing other things. Like, I'll have a long goal of, like, setting up this dream area. And while I'm doing that, I will mess with gravity. I'll mess with time. I will like inhabit a dream character to see what the dream world looks like there. All right. Usually wake up, DJ, then go right back to bed. Those who try to stay up any shorter would just be cutting the journaling. Well, how long are you dream journaling for? Like usually at night, I only do tags so that I can get back to sleep, like just a sentence or two. Sometimes a paragraph if I feel like I can really get back to sleep, like if I'm pretty tired. But otherwise, I make sure that I'm not like writing like 2 pages of a dream. I'm just writing a little bit. And yes, it does cut out the journaling, but being able to get back to sleep is more important than a really long journal. And you can journal more of it in the morning too, like 1 to 3 minutes. When are you doing these? Are you doing them like at the end of the night when you've already slept enough, or are you doing them like after 4 or 5 hours? When is this happening? And are you using an alarm? Because an alarm can wake you up pretty rough, pretty quickly. Like, I generally don't recommend alarms if you can get away from it. Oh, Hithio asked a question. I missed that somehow. Have you ever felt you're too attached to your persistent dream characters? Is something one should worry about long term if you're into persistent realms? I've never worried about it, but I am not one to just like get super attached to people immediately. Like in real life, like I have 2 best friends. They've been my best friends since I was like 10. I'll meet people, we'll hang out, we'll have fun. That happens in real life all the time, and I just don't really, I just don't get extremely attached to people until it's been years and years and years. So, I mean, maybe in a few years or something, but Vixen, Jason, Old Man, all those people, it's not the same, my relationship to them from a dream standpoint. There's always something in the back of my mind telling me that they're not real. And of course, in Zodra, they think that I'm not real as well. They think that I'm a figment of their imagination. So there's always kind of just some separation there. Kayla's probably the one that I've gotten pretty close to, but even so, it feels like getting close to a book character. Like, it doesn't feel like getting close to like a human. And I think a lot of people that if they struggle with getting too close to dream characters, maybe it's because they don't have any real life friends that they're that close to. Like, they only have like acquaintances and not like really, really close friends, or else I feel like they'd be able to tell the difference pretty easily. And Oniroglyphic says, I am using an alarm, haven't been able to reliably get notice, remember waking my natural wakings yet. Okay. Have you tried the water technique? I feel like that one's one of the easiest ways to remember natural wakings. And are you using intent to remember natural wakings? If you're going to sleep at the same time every night and you have an alarm set, you can also use a progressive alarm. You can use things like that. You can also, if you just have the alarm set the same time every night and you go to bed the same time every night, you'll start waking up before the alarm. Your body generally doesn't seem to like waking up to alarms. So just by using alarm and being consistent, you should start waking up naturally. Okay, well, this looks like two problems. So he says, when I get lucid, I always end up waking up after a very short amount of time. What can I do to fix this? It's just like I forget all of my goals. So first of all, in order to remember your goals, I would say slow down and gather your mind. Like, practice throughout the day, just like stop and remember your dream goals. And I would recommend having an action that you do that connects your dream goals. And that would be your first dream goal every single night. It's okay. Like, I look at my hands, I slow down, I look at my hands, and I like take a deep breath, and it centers me into my present moment, so I can start thinking clearly and I can start pulling up my dream goals. So that's how I would remember dream goals, and you could practice it throughout the day. You can also run it through Smile if you want, which is generally how I do it when I practice it throughout the day. And then if you wake up after a very short amount of time, you could be waking at the end of your dreams. You could be reaching for waking life because you're not comfortable in the dream. Think of it like in dreams, if you think about waking life, you're not going to wake up. But if you're new to lucid dreaming, then you're not 100% sure what buttons do what. So if you think about waking life, you might accidentally push a button that makes you wake up. You might think, oh no, I'm thinking about waking life and that'll wake me up. Or you may just feel like the dream's fading and your mind says, oh, dream fading means that I'm waking up. And there's a lot of things like that. A lot of people don't realize that, like, maybe your dreams just get like a little dimmer and a little brighter over and over, and you just generally don't notice it unless you're lucid. When you're lucid, you notice that it gets dimmer and you think, oh no, I'm waking up. And then you start waking up. Last night I found this really cool like scooter thing. It's like, imagine it like this big, and then it like goes up. Man, I can't get in the camera. So then it goes up, and it has 4 wheels, and a motor. And whenever you push a button, like it kind of expands outwards and puts like a little like car type thing around you, but it's all like it looks fake, like it was like plasticky, like a parachute type thing. But it had a motor, and you just and it's a 1-person car. It was pretty cool. Get his wink, huh, this is cool, I'm lucid. Then it just goes back to a normal dream. Oh, that doesn't sound like, that's completely different. So I generally recommend that you repeat I'm dreaming as soon as you get lucid so you don't forget. Also, the slowing down thing will really help because you want to actually like stop and realize that you know that you're dreaming, because a lot of times just knowing that you're dreaming isn't really enough to do the things you want. You want to like really think, oh yeah, I'm dreaming. Like, I know that I'm dreaming. I am very well aware of the fact that I'm dreaming. So I was told early on to slow down, repeat I'm dreaming, and eventually you won't have to. And also, I wouldn't use the word lucid, because I've played games in dreams where it's like the person's like, oh, when you win this game, you get to be lucid. And I'll win the game, and then I'm like, yay, I'm lucid. And they're like, yeah, but your lucidity's over. And be like, ah, darn. So if you don't know exactly what lucid means, which in a dream you can forget, it can be like a thing to achieve instead of it actually being knowing that you're dreaming. And this, I think, can really throw people off. So I recommend using dreaming, I'm dreaming, things like that, not just I'm lucid, because this can give you false lucids where you have this idea of what your dreams are like and you incubate that instead of actually becoming lucid. You're welcome. I hope it helps. I find that natural wakings, like the intention for that, is easier than the intention for um, mild, and easier for the intention for wild and things like that in dream recall. So I think that it's like the first step that people should work on is becoming lucid, um, is being able to recognize natural wakings. But I know a lot of people don't like natural wakings, but I highly recommend it more than almost anything else. Let's see. I set my alarm for 5 a.m., but I always wake up at 4:55, so I guess I can probably stop using alarms. Maybe. It might just be part of the whole thing that setting the alarm sets the intent. But, you can always try it. Um, but it's a lot of times whenever you find something that works, you want to make sure that, you know, you don't accidentally break it. So, but who knows? Maybe it'll just be perfect. You wake up at 4:55 a.m. perfectly for a wake back to bed every night from now on. It is possible. Oh. I should probably have music on during this, but I hate background music. So it's a lot for me to just like go through and find like crappy background music that's like free to use. Not my favorite thing in life. But yep. Where'd that light go? Oh yeah, that one's upstairs. So yeah, I feel like let's see. I was gonna talk a little bit more about my dreams. Yeah. So I've got quite a few persistent dream characters, and most of them I only realized they were persistent after I'd woken up. Like I'll have a lot of one-off characters that I'll just meet, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't need to see them again. But a lot of times I'll have a one-off character. I'll really like spending time with them. I'll be like, okay, that looks like a cool character, and we'll see if I can pop up. I'll see if I can like pop them up into a dream in the future, and then I'll have a dream, and it'll be someone like similar to them, but it won't like look exactly like them, or something small will be off, and I'll ignore all the small things that are off, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's this person, and just think all the small things that are off are just because it's a dream, or because they were changing their appearance, or because they were acting differently, or I remembered it incorrectly, and then the third time I'll see them, which is usually when I would say that shows sign of persistence. That's whenever they will act like their previous selves. They'll remember previous interactions, all that stuff, which persistent characters are pretty cool. I like that. How do you create your persistent realms, and how much do you plan before you create them? So I do it a little differently than other people. So like I have 3 persistent realms. Zodra, which is just the place where I spawned in at, and I looked around and I found all sorts of. I found the name of the place. I found different rules. I found different characters. I found different persistent things. It's still a dream, so anything dreamlike can happen. I could be a pirate one day, and I could be president of the universe the next day. But it's still got some rules that it follows. So that one is how I created it, was just by paying attention to my dreams. Then there's Sword Art Online, which is the video game. I tried teleporting there over and over and over and over and over again. Couldn't get it exactly how I wanted. Couldn't get it to be persistent. And then I started using a gate of a nerve gear, and I started editing the crap out of the rules because I don't like the rules as set up in the anime. So that one took hours and hours and hours of setting it up to make sure it's right. It's only got 10 levels. It's got many more skills that you can learn. And yeah, so that would be how I created the second one. And then there's World Universe, which I just jumped out of Zodra, because Sword Art Online is technically like inside Zodra. It's a video game inside Zodra. But this one is jumping out of Zodra into a different place and just seeing what's there. I did that, and I was like, oh, this place looks cool. This place doesn't look cool. And I just went shopping around at different universes to see exactly which one I liked. I found World Universe, a place where the worlds are really close. Like space travel is a thing, but it's like not extremely far away. There are giant dragons that whenever they get to a certain size, like dragons can fly from world to world because there's some, like atmosphere is like not a thing. You can just go outside of the atmosphere. There's always air for you to breathe. The dragons will fly from place to place, but when they get to a certain size, they won't be able to re-enter into the atmosphere, re-exit the gravity, not atmosphere, which is a really big size. And then I'm a wizard there, and I've lost all of my memory. It's gotten restricted behind a spell, and I can see that the spell's there, but I can't break the spell. It's set to break under a certain trigger, and I haven't found the trigger yet. So that one I just found, and I like looked around to see what was happening there. President of the Universe. Oh, I stole that idea, the President of the Universe idea, from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and in the thing in the book, President of the Universe is like a fake title. You don't actually run anything. It's just the person that they pin all the bad things on, while some other guy runs the universe. And I'm not gonna say who it is because it's actually like a spoiler for the second book, which is pretty cool actually. What was the longest time you stayed in Zodra for? Probably a few weeks. First time I did it was so I used to have a hard time. Like I would realize it was a dream, but I would believe some of the things people would tell me. Like they'd be like, "Hey, it's me, and we're shared dreaming," or somebody would be like, "I have this ability, and it's in a dream, and this is this." So I ran into a witch. I guess it was a ghost, but it was probably a witch. Like when I actually think back on her powers and everything. And she killed my wife, and her ability, as explained in the dream, was that she could kill somebody in a dream and they would die in real life. And so in the dream I was really upset, and I thought that my wife had died in real life, and I was worried I wouldn't be able to get back because this was back when I had like 70-80 lucid dreams. So I just stayed there out of anger, and I stayed in this hotel, and in the hotel the staff there hated dreams. They hated dream control. They thought that it was all magic and that I would, they thought that it would be evil. So I spent a couple weeks there, angrily staying there so that I could avenge my wife. And then on the second week, and this was like probably one of the more intense time dilation because I was there just living at the hotel angrily, like eating, drinking, living there. And then the witch was up there, or the ghost or whatever it was, and she was all the way up the stairs, and I couldn't like get up there. So I used dream control, but I didn't want the people to think I was evil, so I made it to where there was like a earthquake, and I made it to where the parts of the world like crashed around in a perfect way of stairs for me to go upstairs. And so I ran up there, and when I ran up there, the witch just started wailing on me and almost killing me. And then a ghost of my wife popped up and protected me, and then I woke up. And then of course I realized that doesn't make any sense, that I would die in real life if I died in a dream. But anyways, it got me a cool couple weeks in a lucid dream. Yeah. Notice the description, and it reminded me of a question. I noticed time dilation is not exactly a hot topic on Dream Cafe. What are your views on it? Does it really feel like you experience days? Yes, it does really feel like you experience days. And many people will like to demean it, or they'll like to like bring it down and be like, "Oh, it's just time skips." And I'm like, that's like saying that flying in a lucid dream is just the feeling of falling but sideways. We don't really know exactly how it works. We don't really know exactly why it works. But you seem to be able to be in a lucid dream, making decisions, and think that you are fully conscious and aware for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, weeks even. Now, is that time skips? I don't know. It doesn't feel like time skips answers the question completely. Now, is it a deception? Do I actually think that you have changed time or dialed up time to 11 in your mind? Probably not. It is a deception, but it's a really freaking good one, and I can't see the seams. I can't see the parts where it stitches together the time. It feels like this. It feels like me walking around making decisions for hours and hours and hours. So, yes, time dilation does exist. You can feel like you're living a lot longer in a dream. Is it just deception? Yes, everything in your dreams is just a deception, but that doesn't mean it's not a good thing to try and do, because, that's the whole point, is we're making these deceptions. We're making fun deceptions to go back to and to enjoy. Yes, I do. It took me a long time. So for the longest time, I just kept time dilating on accident, couldn't figure it out. But then I found out that if I go to an area that I can't wake up from, then I won't wake up. So like if you notice the hotel dream, I was in the hotel the whole time for 2 weeks. I've had all sorts of dreams like that where I'm in a small area or a like relatively confined area. Sometimes like a kilometer or something like that. And I feel like in that area I can't wake up or I like refuse to wake up. And that makes it where I don't wake up while I'm there. And so that's how I started doing it on purpose, because as soon as I start thinking about how much time I've been in a dream, I start thinking about time, and it feels like it wakes me up. So like my way of stabilization or of never really worrying about stabilization is to just never really worry about time in a dream. So in order to do time dilation, I focus on not waking up instead of focusing on staying in a dream longer. I would recommend journaling during your way back to bed. I don't know if you've seen like the tag book method for writing down dreams, but I'd recommend that. I do a little bit more than that usually. I usually do like 1 paragraph per dream. So I end up in the morning with like 7 paragraphs. So I find that to be super helpful. But you can also just do as much as you feel. Like practice different amounts and see which ones are helpful and which ones aren't helpful. Not writing down your dreams, you might forget them. Writing down your dreams, you might not be able to fall back to sleep. If you can fall back to sleep, I recommend writing down some of your dreams. Now, if you're spending 30 minutes and awake back to bed writing down your dreams, you're going to be limiting yourself. You're going to be pulling yourself out of the dream mindset, which can make it harder to lucid dream, which is not what you want. So you really need to, balance. It's all about balance. It always has been. Yeah, I had a lot of cool time dilation things, often with my wife. I remember one dream where I oh man, there's like a demon that had made it to where my wife couldn't remember me. This one was non-lucid. But it was a long, long dream, me spending time trying to get to know my wife, and she was like a single mother because I didn't exist in her mind. And but also having to deal with this demon that kept throwing wrenches in my plan. And then at the very, very end, I realized I was dreaming and ended up doing some things to mess up his perception of what was happening, and he was getting pretty angry. It was pretty cool. Have you ever had moments where you're like, wow, I did not expect the dream to be able to do that? Like I've had a dream where I made a pretty complex portal puzzle that made a lot of sense. Actually, yes. So I did this before I started lucid dreaming. I was reading a book, and in the book, this guy was reading a book to a girl. And in the book, everyone was saying that like people can't read these things. Like these books are like completely full of nonsense. This guy can't actually read what's happening in there. And so he's reading it to her, and he reads the books out to her, these stories, and people are like, oh no, he's just making it up in his head. And they were like in the book debating whether or not you'd be able to come up with the words to a book accurately and a story at the rate of pretending to read it and have the book actually make sense. And I was like, I don't know if that's possible. And then that night I went to bed. I had a dream where I sat down and I read a book. And it was like about an hour-long book, and the whole thing made perfect sense. And to me, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking, is your mind can actually make up a book as you read it and have it make perfect sense. And I was like 14 at this time. Like this was me, young, didn't know what lucid dreaming was. And I was like, oh, cool. Like you can actually read at the same rate of making up things, and your brain can help you do that. How would you rate the realism, as in semi-realistic and logical interactions with the dream world, and vividness of Zodra on average on a scale of 0 to 10? 9 is real life. Zodra feels and looks exactly like real life. Sometimes I'll be in a blurry place. That's really rare, though. Usually the vividness is a little bit more than waking life, but specifically because the focus. I don't have like as small of a focal point in dreams as I do while I'm awake. I can focus on multiple things at once. The background isn't blurry whenever I focus on something in the foreground, stuff like that. So that's interesting. That's because I don't actually have 2 points of view. I don't actually have 2 eyes in a dream. You have only 1 point of view. Logical interactions with the dream world. I've always had logical interactions with the dream world. I've always felt like my dreams made a lot of sense while I was in them. I'll have a dream where I'm doing something that, given my surroundings, given my memories, everything that's happening around makes perfect sense. And so I'm making really logical decisions around that idea. I just don't know it's a dream because it's not generally obvious that it's a dream. Back then, of course, now it's obvious that I'm a dream because I've spent a lot of time in dreams. I know what my dreams look like. I know what they act like. I know what my brain is like when I'm in dreams. I know what my surroundings act like. I know what my focus point looks like in dreams. I just know my dreams really well. I don't know if I got into somebody else's dream world, if I would immediately notice that it was a dream, or if I would think, wow, this is a weird, like, non-dream experience, because it seems like everybody else seems to be dealing with different dreams than me. Yeah, go read books. I used to get stuck reading books. Like, it was like a goal for a while, and then it was like I could not get away from the goal of reading books, so I just read books all the time. So yeah, do it. It's a good time. I also found dream writing, which is really fun, which is where I go into like a close to like hypnagogia state, and I have like keyboard, and I do like a wild transition, but I don't fall asleep completely, and I just write what's happening, or I read a book and write what I see, which was pretty fun. Pretty cool way to steal ideas from my mind. Do I seriously not have the black marker? That's not good. I needed the black marker. Yeah. I've recently started reading books in my PR. I also been a little surprised how they can make perfect sense. The one I read recently was on magical alchemy. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I really like to go to libraries, and I like to find like maps and things like that. Philosophical things. Short stories are really fun. Is that the guy from Fact or Fiction on your profile picture? It looks like him. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that idea. I also love the idea of I will like read a book title. Like right now, for instance, I'm reading The Goblin Emperor or something like that. And instead of reading the book or even reading the synopsis, just go into a dream and read the book in the dream, and then when you wake up you actually check and see what it says. Like stuff like that I've always found fun, just to compare what my mind's like general ideas from the name are versus what my actual ideas are. Haha, I knew it. It's pretty funny show. I pretty much just watched Jarvis Johnson react to it because I'm not one to like go and actually find things online. I just stick on YouTube way too often. Magical alchemy. I like. I also really like finding ingredients. Like if you can find like something that's like, oh, if you need these 3 ingredients, it'll make this magical item. That's always pretty cool. And then you now have like a quest, like, oh, I'm gonna go find these 3 ingredients. You put them together and you get the thing that you want. It's just a really cool way. Like if you really want something, and you struggle to just like get it, because sometimes with dream control, you can't just like magically be like, oh, I want 360 vision, and you're like trying to get it. But sometimes people struggle with this type of thing, and they're like, okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find 360 vision in a quest, and whenever you do that, the whole quest sets up the intention for finding that thing. So when you actually do finally find it, it's already got like the perfect amount of intention, the perfect amount of everything just sitting there, so that when you finally get the item, it works perfectly. My first goal for a controllable loose is to eat an Oreo and see how realistic it tastes. I've been judged for that, but I still stand with my opinion. I eat all the time in lucid dreams, so I can't judge you on that. Let's see. Any fun adventures from your other PRs? The kind of stories immediately get a smile. So let's see. So my other PR, I'm a school aged kid, but I don't think I actually am. I think I'm undercover, because I have way too much magic. One time I stole a bunch of teleportation papers, mainly because I didn't want them to know that I could teleport. And we went on a trip to, there's like a huge ocean in the middle of what is it called? In the middle of space. And so when we got there, we were like, it's like, just imagine like a giant ball of water. Like you've seen astronauts with water and stuff like that. So imagine like that, but like an actual like ocean-sized water. And so we brought surfboards and we were surfing around there, which I haven't really surfed in real life. So I had to use a bunch of, allow the dream to surf for me, basically. I did that. And then halfway there, a world dragon came because it's water, they have to drink water and eat water. So if they're not on a planet, and this one was giant and black, then they have to find water out and about, which they don't have to find as much water. The rules for staying alive there seem really vague. So I teleported all of them back except for me, and I fought the world dragon. Not like fought trying to kill, just fought like a tussle. And in the end, we ended up talking, and I used a shrinking spell so that he could be small again. So now he's like this small. And he's now like I wouldn't say pet because we work together on a lot of things, but yeah, it's pretty cool. He's also still got he doesn't have like the mass density. His rules work a lot like Ant-Man rules, where like they kind of just like magically work perfectly. Like he's not the weight of a world dragon, otherwise he would crush every building he's in. But he's also he's as solid as that. So like if something tried to like scratch him or something like that, it would be like trying to hurt a world dragon. So that I thought was pretty fun. And then let's see, another time there was like this group of people that were trying to attack the world. They were trying to attack the city that I was in, city where my college or high school or whatever it is. I think it's at college. I think it's like an academy. Yeah, and I went and fought them off, and there was a guy that had sacrificed his sight for greater magical power. He still wasn't as strong as me magically, and so I basically told him, like, you've been wasting your time looking at all this stupid like stupid magic whenever the normal magic and like finding more legendary magical items and stuff like that is way better. So what I did was I actually gave him his sight back with my magic, and then I aged him down because he was an old man, so that he could go back to the academy. And so now I have somebody that's like really indebted to me, but also like kind of a friend now that goes to the academy that is way stronger. And I'm like, there's something going wrong at the academy, so you need to help me find it. Let's see. Food isn't tasty in your dreams. That's bad. Food should be tasty in dreams, man. My first lucid dream. Let's see. I've posted it many places, but since I've posted it many places, should I do a different one? Hey, Arrow Man, you gotta be okay. Okay. Did you do a strong move before that? I can help you get more speed later, Arrowman. But for now, you're gonna have to just play or choose a different game. All right. So yeah, I'll just go with my first stream. It's pretty simple. I've told it 1,000 times, but yeah, I was on vacation in Mexico, and I was there for about 2 weeks, and there was a girl there that I really liked, and I was trying to spend more time with her, but she was really, really shy. So she kept, anytime we were in a group together, she would leave. And so one of the times she left, I followed her, and I realized that it didn't make any sense because I'm already married. And so I stopped and I looked around and I was like, oh my gosh, like this must be a dream. Like this doesn't make any sense that I would forget that. So then I looked ahead and knew that she'd gone left. And so there was left and right in front of me. And so I went to the right, which in my mind was like choosing to go outside of where the dream wanted me to go. In my mind, it felt like I'm breaking the dream ideas, which in my mind now would be like getting out of a bubble, which I haven't really explained bubbles. And as soon as I did that, I ended up in a backyard, and there was like there's green, perfect green grass, a black stemmed rose with like really, really red leaf or petals. And I looked at it, and then this old man comes up to me and tells me that if I want to stay in the dream, I need to be like the rose. And I look, and across every backyard, there is like the exact same thing: green grass, black stemmed red rose. And then I start noticing I'm getting thrown out of the dream, noticing that I'm getting thrown out of the dream. And then I start spinning and staring at the rose, and then I end up waking up. Yeah, using your immense power for random things like reading books or eating. Reading books is the most immense power that we have in this universe right now, so it makes sense. Guy sacrificed his sight to see the truth, right? Dream books are awesome. Agreed. They're super important. Yeah, it was weird because when I went to World Universe, I was just like looking through my spell book, and I was like, holy crap, like these are really powerful spells. And when I was going to classes and stuff like that, I realized that I was much more powerful. And so then when I tried to, which a lot of times when I go to a different place, I'll pull up fake memories. I couldn't pull any up. And so then I looked through all my spells and found one that was, I found one that was, what do you call it? I found that one was a memory spell, and it was activated, and I couldn't activate it again. And it was a legendary spell, so it was not something you would be able to just like find around at the college. Do I remember the first time a DC felt alien to my own dream world? Let's see. There's been quite a few times. See, the first time was probably, there's a ways in. I can't remember if there was any more. Let's see. I've had some nightmares where they definitely felt like that, but let's stay away from the nightmares. Yeah, so one time Jason came up and he was like, hey, there's like somebody attacking you right now. There's a group of them. And there was like a few different people that came to attack from a different world. Now, it might have just been alien. It's hard to tell if it was just alien to Zodra or if it was alien to the universe. Like, it was just alien to the planet or alien to the universe. But they had come to take over the world. And they started fighting. One of the guys like had the ability to face through things. I had to fight him. And I was only using small powers because I didn't want the Zodra fighters to feel like they didn't need to fight. Vixen lost her battle. Jason won his. But she accidentally fought the main bad guy. So then I went out after I realized that Vixen had gotten destroyed. And when no one was looking, I went up to the main bad guy, which was just a tree. But it was like a tree that felt so wrong, like it didn't belong there. It felt like it shouldn't be there, which actually kind of reminds me of the tree in King Killer Chronicles. It's not like actually a tree, it's something in the tree, but in this, it was the tree. And I basically told him, like, hey, this is my universe. You're gonna have to get through me. I'm much stronger than you realize. And then I used like my actual like strong ability. in order to basically scare the crap out of him. And the tree shot up into the sky. I'm going to have to pause this for 1 second to talk to my son. I'm back. 1 sec. Oh. I rarely get nightmares, but when I do, I notice it's extremely good for getting lucid, or you're already extremely close to getting lucid, and that's what gave you the nightmare. I don't know. Could be. I think that a lot of times being scared makes people slow down and evaluate things. But also, I think that slowing down and evaluate things can make people more scared if they have like a predisposition to be a little scared in their dreams. So that's always an option. Because people just don't forget nightmares extremely easily. Question. That's good. Do you have to remember everything perfectly in your PR in order to be persistent? For example, dream characters design their clothes. Can they change uncontrollably? So it depends. Like, so in Zodra, people change quite a bit. They look a lot different. So from time to time, especially Vixen, she changes how she looks a lot because she's always undercover. Most of the Z fighters are kind of, I wouldn't say like on the run from the witches, but we're always kind of, it's like a game of who can have the most intel and stuff like that. So going around as ourselves would always look, not be a good idea for incognito. But other places, no, they look like you expect them to look. They look like they belong there. They look like the people you remember. So the thing I always find interesting is people always wonder about this. Like, do I need to remember every detail? It's like, well, what if you forget a detail and it's changed? Then it doesn't matter because you didn't remember that detail anyways. So that's one of those things where I feel like it's not really a problem per se. It's like, this is what, like, dreams change a little bit. And usually it's the things that you aren't paying attention to that are going to change. Even in a persistent realm, there'll probably be small inconsistencies, but they're probably going to be small inconsistencies that you don't notice. Now, if you dream journal everything perfectly and you have it all written down and all this stuff, then you might like notice an inconsistency here or there. Very rare. But if it does happen, it might just be that something changed. Someone might have like went in and changed the color. Like you go into a room that you've been in before, but this time it's green instead of red. It's like, oh no, it's inconsistent. This world isn't persistent. It's like, or someone painted the room. Like that happens in real life. So yeah, I don't worry so much about it changing, and it doesn't seem to change. Zodra changes a lot, but that's kind of made to be changing. Sword Art Online doesn't change at all. It's all very persistent. So Bojan and Proso. Do I have any lucid dreaming tips? Yes, I do. I've got all the lucid dreaming tips. Best one would be to work on recall more than almost any other thing. You need to focus a lot on your dreams, not just dreams in general. The game is dreaming. Lucid dreaming is just scoring. So if your dream recall is Suarashi, then after that, I would, and if you have amazing dream recall and you can't get lucid, then I would start worrying. But for the most part, most people have terrible recall and they can't figure out why they're not getting lucid. If they got good recall, I imagine most issues are just going to go away. That's my biggest lucid dreaming tip. working on recall, enjoying your dream. How's your dream recall, Proso? You said you tried many times, but you can't lucid dream. So I'd say most people, they think that good dream recall is one dream a night. In my mind, good dream recall is like multiples a night. For dream memories, they don't have to all be like perfect long dreams. For different groups of ideas that are together throughout the night, I'd say is like the low goal. If you can hit that, then you're going to start seeing more dreams. Boyan Rakic. I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to say things. I'm English, man. I just talk in English and some Japanese. Yes, I would recommend you working on that. 1 to 2 dreams a night, I would say, is really low. You want to move that up. My next video, or the video after my next, should be about. It's similar to the effective dream journal, but it's basically a more effective dream journal, and it should give you guys an exact idea of how to dream journal in order to increase your recall, how to dream journal in order to get more lucid, and specific steps on how to do it, instead of I'm just going to write down my dreams and hope everything makes happy, good times. And the biggest problem with dream journaling is that if you have good recall, you're dream journaling a lot. If you have bad recall, you're not dream journaling a lot. So that means that it's going to go up and down and up and down. So this is how much you write in your dream journal every day. Have I ever tried astral projection? We're practicing it and interested in it a lot. And this is about this dream just asking. I have done a lot of things that people think is astral projecting, but I'm not. I'm not convinced that it's not just a dream, because I'll just do something in a dream, and then I'll have a crazy experience, and then I'll talk to somebody else, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was astral projection." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it wasn't, because it all happened inside of Zodra. It all happened inside a dream." A lot of people, I guess I don't understand at what point me dreaming about a different world becomes a different world. It makes very little sense to me. Why you would need to go into a dreamlike state, a state where you're easily deceived by everything, in order to go to a world that is different. That sounds to me just like you're getting deceived again into thinking that it's real, because in a normal dream, you think it's real, right? In a normal dream, you think everything around me is really happening. This isn't just inside my head. And then you realize you're dreaming. But astral projection, in my mind, is just being deceived again, going further that way and getting back to being deceived by everything. So not a big fan of astral projection. I just think it's all in people's head. Now, it may exist. There may be some people that actually do it, but I would say that the popular techniques, the common ideas of it, if it did actually exist, I would probably stay away from it for the most part. But the common techniques, popular ideas and stuff like that, it's just people incubating dreams. So, gosh, just flexing. Why you like the sealed Orion? I always want to say onion for some reason. Probably because it looks like onion. Yeah, I mean, that could be. You can always journal more throughout the day, write your dreams throughout the day if you need to. Focusing attention and intent on your dreams, like that is going to get you more recall. Obviously, doing it throughout the night is going to be better than doing it throughout the day, but you also have more time throughout the day. You got 16 hours every day. You can literally just write in your dream journal that whole time, rewriting your dreams, reading them, writing about your dreams, getting to know your dreams more. And, that would probably be better than almost all techniques that we've seen, but at least as far as day work goes. But it's super, super tiring. It doesn't sound very fun. So it is what it is. Your old username was Sealed Onion. Nice. See, I knew I'd seen it before. I do recommend journaling throughout wake back to beds if you can. I say it's very effective, but obviously you can do it. I would say it is a dream. It's just a dream. But, I mean, it's up to you. I consider it to be lower than lucid dreams because in lucid dreams you realize the truth. You know that the things around you aren't actually real, aren't actually happening. So it ends up being basically like a persistent dream realm, non-lucid, where you have very specific rules, and the rules change depending on whose astral projection thing you're reading about. So I don't know. It sounds boring to me. It sounds more fun to create your own dream world with your own rules, or at least to just shop around and find a dream world that has cool rules and get isekai there. So I don't know. That's my opinion on it. It just doesn't sound extremely fun or exciting, and it just sounds like a dream. Oh, man. I will be leaving in like 5 minutes at 2 o'clock, or I guess whatever time it is for you guys. Yeah. Everybody said that they wanted just a chill stream, so I'm sorry that I am extremely chill today. I'm pretty dang tired. No exuberant, extra crazy sensei today. Just normal chill sensei. Hopefully I'll feel better in the next couple of days. I'm just so tired. All the time. Yep. So, yeah, I've also had dreams where I thought that they were maybe astral projections inside the dream, but when I woke up, I realized there was nothing to say whether or not it was astral projection or a dream. So it just makes more sense to think it's a dream. Like, that's Occam's razor. It is that idea. I just don't think people are right. I think people are wrong in what they think it is. It makes way more sense that it's just a dream about it, right? Like, if I have a dream that a witch tells me my future, most likely it's just going to be a dream about it. It's just going to be my mind coming up with this idea. If I have a dream that I'm leaving my body, it's probably just going to be a dream about it. Like I said, Occam's razor. It makes way more sense for it to just be a dream. Well, there's going to have to be a lot of chill streams because I don't know how many subjects there are for lucid dreaming. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe next week I'll do some dream control stuff, or I'll do another chill stream. We'll see. I need to get the lag down so it doesn't have so much lag between the answering questions. I'm glad to hear it, Five Puff. I really, really wish there was stuff like this around whenever I was starting out, because I mean, I had hours and hours of listening time when I was younger, because I worked a job where I could listen to stuff the whole time. So like, if I would have loved it if there was like an hour or 2 hours, about lucid dreaming that I could listen to every single week, to keep me motivated and to just like keep it on my mind. The Monroe Institution, like Robert Monroe. I mean, they have some good experiments and stuff like that. I just don't like agree with everything that they believe. I believe that's the right. I think I'm thinking of the right thing there. Let me double check. Robert Monroe. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I just don't believe everything he believes. But they've got a bunch of cool experiments. Like, they did a lot of experiments on Wake Back to Beds pretty recent. Like, I guess, like, not recently, but I was looking through those a little while ago. I downloaded them and I meant to search through them more, so I could use them in my videos. But alas, I didn't do that. And yeah, also Five Puff. I'd really like more people to do stuff like this. I think it'd be really cool to have just new people, like people explaining their like progress every week. I think that'd be really cool if somebody would do that. I find it really interesting. See ya, boy and Rocky. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. I will have a good time. I'll have to leave and go get my daughter from school here in a minute. I actually had a dream the other day that I shaved, and I was like, I didn't shave. I was like, did I shave in real life? And I was like, I must have. And I had like this memory of me shaving, and I pulled up the memory of me trimming my face, because like half of it gets out of hand and half of it never grows. But I was very upset because, like, I don't know, it takes me a while to grow stuff, and my wife likes my face better with facial hair on it. So I was like, crap, she's not going to like me for a few weeks until I can grow it back. But I woke up and I have hair again, which was nice. Yeah, I know. I'm so young. Who if you old man getting 31? It's crazy. Basically in the grave. I wouldn't say I'm full of energy though. I feel so tired. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it. Thank you everybody for coming and joining, asking questions. I feel like I actually got a lot of questions. I will see you guys around. Come join the Omnilus Discord server, or just chill and Dream Cafe if that's what you guys like. And yeah, just I'm always around there if you guys want to at me. I can answer questions throughout the week as well. Bye.